So sorry about that. My phone overheated, mind you, because I had it sitting in the sun and it shut me down. So here I am again for part 2 of my video on homelessness. What I was saying is you can't be ringing up council as a ratepayer and say, complain because somebody's pooping and weeing in the creek when they've got nowhere else to go. You're closing the toilets. If we're closing the toilets and people can't go, where are they supposed to go? Common sense has to prevail here. It's just not okay. And then you've got people complaining because there's a homeless person there. And a lot of people will make up lies and ring councils and make up lies and say this person's doing this, this and this. And I go out and investigate and it's actually not true at all. So councils get a lot of false reports simply because people don't like homeless people living in the area. Well, I'm sorry, the homeless population is going to grow because our society is set up to help people fail, not to help people achieve success. So there's going to be a lot more homeless people. What do? Do we click our fingers and hope these homeless people will disappear into thin air? No, that's not likely to happen. That's not going to happen. We need to open the cities. We need to cater for people. We need to have hot water stations. We need to have USB ports out in the public, in the parks. We need to have power points in parks and playgrounds so that people can charge their devices and charge their, put a toaster on and cook something or, dry their hair or whatever. We need to have public showers, even if they're coin operated, not only for homeless people, but for travellers and everybody else. Why aren't our cities catering for people? It's sheer lunacy. We've got Civic Park, going back to Teacher Gully Council, we've got Civic Park with toilets that close at 9 o'clock every night. So in the summer months, we've got families with hundreds of people sometimes enjoying the beautiful outdoor space of Civic Park until midnight, and the toilets close at 9 o'clock. So little kids are forced to pee in the car park and people go behind bushes, and antisocial behaviours are happening because our council won't bloody open the toilets for an extra few hours through the summer months to cater for these families. Because 1 or 2 residents are saying, oh, but somebody might shoot up in there. Well, so what if they do? The sharps containers are there for them to safely dispose of their syringe, and they're not hurting anybody else. So isn't that better than them sitting out and doing it in public and throwing the syringe on the ground for some kid to tread on, which I covered in the last live. Please watch the first half of the live. My phone shut down because of the heat. I want this state government's annoying the crap out of me at the moment, to be honest with you, because they are focused on live golf and spending millions of dollars on a golf tournament, yet we have people's civil rights and human rights being denied that are living on the streets, that there's no housing for them, there's no support for them. I don't want to live in a society that thinks it's okay for a child to be living on the streets for 23 years into adulthood and still not have a house, be neglected, but all we care about is putting on a golf match for the state. This government is doing a lot of wonderful things for this state, there's no doubt about it, but they are neglecting a lot of things too. And a lot of things in the human services that have no bling associated to them and don't win you votes. Homelessness. The NDIS system is an absolute mess. The hospital system, the health system's in a mess. The homelessness system's in a mess. We've got homelessness charities that are rorting the system right through. This is just one big rort, the homelessness industry. I've never seen anything like it before in my life, where people are out to fill their own pockets and don't give a shit about homeless people. Homeless people's violations are being denied, and human rights violations happening every single day because they're expected to sell their soul just to get a feed or to get some help. The whole industry needs significant reform because homeless people are suffering. And for those of you that say, oh, people don't want housing and they're happy to be homeless, that's a load of garbage. Most people have accepted their lot in life because they know that there's no help out there for them. They've tried for years and years and years and they have defeated it's sucked the life out of them and they've got nothing left, and they now have accepted the fact that no one's ever going to help them and they're going to have a life on the streets. There's a difference between wanting a house and not wanting a house and accepting the situation you're in. No council will ever say to me, people don't want houses. You can't house everybody. There might be a few minor people that you can't house because they are so used to life on the streets, and they've got significant health issues. But they're a rarity. They're a rarity. Nobody in their right mind would prefer to live on the streets than have the security and safety of a house. This is the society that we have created because of our lack of compassion. And I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of councils hating homeless people or not wanting to help homeless people, labelling them all junkies. You go out and live on the street for 20 years and see if you don't turn to ice or crystal meth to survive. And then we'll talk. It's a whole different world out there on the streets. It's a world most of you people don't know and aren't aware of. But each of these people has a story to tell, and each of these people has a shocking story to tell. Each of these people have not had the same opportunities that you've had. Some of them have been on the streets since they were little kids. We have failed them. The system has failed them. This state government needs to give councils authority to actually provide for these people and stop moving people on, stop putting unrealistic expectations in place for homeless people to have to jump through hoops to have their human rights met. It's a non-compassionate world we live in, and I'm not going to accept that. I am not going to accept that. Councils, state government needs to disband ANWR because it's useless, it's not working. They need to give the power to each individual council to provide for their own homeless people. They need to be able to, each council needs to be able to allocate a space for these people to go. You can't keep moving on people and giving them no alternatives where to go. All you're doing is shifting the problem to another lot of residents and hoping they're not going to complain as much. That's not ideal for residents. It's not ideal for councils. If each council was able to take care of their own homeless people and actually provide a place for people to go, then everybody would be happy. It would be a win-win situation. The other thing the state government needs to do is to lift people out of poverty. That's the reason we're in this mess, because of poverty, because people can't afford to pay rent. They can't even afford a housing trust place these days because the cost of living is so high that more people are living in poverty. If you lift people up out of poverty, the whole world would change and we'd be better off. Instead of worrying about where we're going to put a golf course to get the best golfers in and pay millions of dollars to cut down 3,000 or 4,000 trees or however many trees you want to cut down, Labor government. Where is your priorities? You've got people living in and suffering, living on the streets. You've got children living on the streets. Where are your priorities? I don't want to live in a world like this. I want people to be compassionate to their fellow human beings. If you see a homeless person, instead of getting on the phone and watching their every move and ringing councils and complaining, go and see them and say, how can I help you? What can I do? Can I provide you with a coffee, a meal? Do you need clothes? Do you need socks? Do you know how much that lifts these people up that have nothing and no one? To just have one person that shows they care and that they matter can change a person's whole outlook on life. That's all they need sometimes is for somebody to show they care. We need to lift people up and set people up for success. All of these homeless people could be productive members of society and contributing members if we only give them a hand up and help them reach their goals. Because some of these people are so far down in the pit, they can't get back up. They need help. And by councils moving them on and creating a hate mentality between the community and the homeless people and councils is not helping anybody or anything. Councils need to be more compassionate. They need to provide for these people. They need to provide, which will keep residents happy then, and keep the homeless people safe and happy. It's a win-win situation. So I don't understand why councils are so against homeless people. They are your residents too. If it was your daughter or your son-in-law or your kid or your grandkid out there, you would want to know that somebody was watching over them. You would want to know somebody was feeding them. You would want to know that somebody was giving them the best opportunity to get their lives back on track. Start seeing these people as human beings. They are human beings with stories to tell. Get out there and start talking to people. I don't want to live in such a compassionless society, and I appeal to the state government to please do something. Change the system. I'm busting my gut out here on the streets trying to make this world a better place. I'm meeting with councils every fortnight. I'm meeting with local politicians every fortnight. I need the state government to step up, be compassionate, and start providing for the residents in this city that don't have houses. Because they are your residents too. And you need to provide for them. And right now, you're not doing a good job at that. And I don't want to see you building golf courses and bringing other things to this state until you step up and look after your most vulnerable citizens on the street and work with people like me who do care and that are not just out for the money, like some of these big charities are, that don't give a shit about homeless people and just filling their pockets with money. I can't accept the fact that our government's priorities are not in the right place and are not looking after their most vulnerable out in the community. Things need to change, and I'll be lobbying my butt off over the next however many years it takes to make these changes. And as I said, I'm working with Tea Tree Gully Council. The staff there are amazing, and they have a compassionate outlook. I'm now working with Salisbury Council. They also have a compassionate outlook. But we need state government to step up and change legislation to give these people the authority and the autonomy to provide for their homeless people in each individual council. And please, residents, don't pick up the phone and complain every 2 seconds. You're being part of the problem. Help people. Show compassion. It's not that hard. You know, these people are human beings, and a lot of them have had shocking lives, and just want to know that somebody cares to give them some hope. You know, I mean, changing people's lives is not that hard. You know, we've been able to, with the help of Tea Tree Gully Council, we've been able to house, you know, over half a dozen people in the last 12 months. And we've turned their lives around and changed their lives. They're now productive members of society. And 8 months ago, they were what everyone was complaining about in the community. We've got them off the street and we've got them alive and got their lives back. So it's not that hard. If we all work together with councils, with state government and with the community, we can make a difference to these people's lives and have less homeless people on the streets. And that's good for everybody. And this is something that I'm really passionate about. And I'm never going to stop lobbying for the rights of homeless people, because they do have rights. They are human beings. They have rights. You have no more rights than they do just because you live in a house and they don't. So please give it some thought. Please use compassion. Please lobby your state government member for more compassion and more autonomy for councils and legislative changes for councils to look after their own homelessness community. And I'll keep doing what I'm doing, but I need your support too, because change doesn't happen with one person. I can only do so much. I really want to make changes to make our communities safer and more compassionate, and you know, make a city where we don't have to have residents ringing up and complaining about somebody pooping in the creek, because our council use common sense and open the toilets or put a public shower somewhere, put some more power points Actually, providing for these people is not enabling them. It's giving them a chance to get some dignity and integrity back and to have some hope that they're going to get their life back one day. That's what you're doing by providing for homeless people, because they're always going to be there. But how many and what happens is up to councils and up to us as a community and up to the state government on how they want to tackle this. If they keep going the way they are, the homeless community is just going to grow and grow and grow. And that's no good for any community. We all need to work together to make a difference and get these people off the streets and into housing and into productive lives so they can have their life back. Because each of those people are worth it. They're human beings and they're worth it, and they deserve the same life that everybody else has. They deserve to have their family, their life back, their job, and some integrity and some dignity in their lives again. And at the moment, as I said, I'm dealing with one situation where I'm absolutely heartbroken. I've got somebody that's actually been given a death sentence and doctors told them they're dying on the streets. And council are wanting to move them on. So, yeah, right, okay, let's move them on. You know, let's not worry about this person at all, considering the state government caused this in the first place by not doing the early intervention and giving this person a house when I begged them to on three separate occasions. The minister let this person down, and now this person's going to die on the streets. You look at the statistics about how many people die on the streets because of compassionless societies. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. This state government needs to step up. We've got an election coming up. I want homelessness to be an election issue. The local Liberal government, gee, I tell you what, with the candidates they've put up, I've reached out to them and they've blown me off. They can't even be bothered to meet with me to find out what the issues are in the community that they could use for their campaigning, but they're not interested. So I'm not even going to bother with that. We need to focus on the state government we've got in and get them off their bum to do something for our homeless people and not just focus on the bling subjects of what's going to make this a rock star government. People are suffering and we're a wealthy country and that shouldn't be happening. And the way to change the world is to change your own backyard, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I need everybody's support to help me do that. Anyway, I've ranted long enough. I'm really passionate about this because I suffer too. I come home some days and I cry about what I see on the streets and what I hear, and I listen to people's stories. And it breaks my heart to think that we live in a society that has no compassion for our fellow human beings. And that people have to suffer and live on the streets. You've got no idea what it's like out there living on the streets. It's not a nice place. It's hard. It's tough. You're forever in fight and flight mode. You can never relax. It's a different world out there. And it's not a nice world. And we need to use our compassion and get these people into better situations so that we can all live better in our communities. Anyway, thanks so much for listening to me rant again, and hopefully some people will listen and realise what we're doing wrong, and hopefully the state government will step up and start making some changes to their legislation. Thanks very much for listening, everybody. Have a great day.